Have you ever thought that if you combine your experiences with the thoughts that you have, it would make a really cool book? I thought that. I really think that if you just describe the experiences that you have and combine that with the nuances that your thoughts bring, it would make for a really cool and thoughtful book, I think. And I think that's true for everyone. It's very interesting. And I recently thought of this concept that when you're meditating, you're kind of just reading through your own book. Because what are you doing when you're reading a book? You're just sitting relaxedly and you're just going through pages and you're going through this kind of story, right? You're going through all kinds of thoughts and all kinds of things and feelings and moments, and yeah, you're reading a book. Well, I noticed that when you're meditating, sure, it depends on what kind of meditation, but overall, if you're just sitting there with your thoughts, with no other inputs, with your eyes closed, then there's just a lot of thoughts floating by. It's kind of like clouds, and they just come and they go, and then you go into a different thought and you go into different things, and then all of a sudden you're experiencing something that you were experiencing. And I'm not sure how it is for other people, but sometimes there's a visual, and sometimes you really see some really cool, I don't know, sacred geometry things, kind of like trippy things. It's very interesting. And what I notice is that most of the time when I'm meditating and I go through these journeys, it's kind of like I'm observing myself, and it's kind of like I'm just going through the pages of going through the pages of me. I'm just reading about myself, basically, and I'm just processing thoughts that I already had, or processing new thoughts, or processing the experience that I had, or the ones that I am probably going to have. I'm just processing things. And I noticed that after the meditation, if there's a long time that I haven't meditated, it's a very intense thing, because I get a headache and I get really tired after the meditation. And I really think it's because I'm processing so many things. It's kind of like as if you're cleaning up your mind. Yeah, it's kind of like that. But if you're meditating like every day, obviously there's less to clean up, and you're making some kind of progress or something with your mind. And it's a very interesting concept, because it's not really easy to put in words, and yet it's so clear when you're doing it. But it's only because you spend so much time just observing yourself. And I really think that it's the best metaphor that I've thought of so far, is that you're just reading your own book, and you're at the same time you're also writing your own book. But yeah, you're reading and experiencing and processing your own story. And I really think it's important, because let's say this is also a good metaphor, your computer or your phone. When it's full of files, when it's completely full with all kinds of things, then your computer or phone doesn't really work properly. It's slow, and sometimes it crashes and all these things. But then when you clean up your computer, when you clean up those files, when you delete the ones that you don't need anymore, or you kind of, process them, then all of a sudden your computer works again, or your phone works again, and it's quicker and it works faster, and you're more happy using it. The experience just gets better. And I noticed that with meditation as well, and my mind, is that life just gets better when I'm meditating often. It's kind of like a maintenance time. It's different from sleep. Sleep is also very important. I would say sleep is even more important. But then it's not the same as meditation, I found out. Sleep would be more of kind of like a recovery, I think, and meditation would, in my mind, would be more of an upgrade or something, or really cleaning things up and putting things in order. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure yet exactly the difference, because I think there's little difference. If you can even consciously sleep, because that's why you can also dream vividly and have lucid dreams. So it all depends on how you approach it, I guess. But yeah, meditation, it's pretty nice. And I would say for a lot of people, because I know that there's a lot of people that know about meditation and they think this is such a big concept, but it's really not. It's just sitting there and you just find out different things and you learn. And what helps for me when I haven't meditated for a long time, I just put on some nice music that's not really defining, as in there's no text. There's also no really, you wouldn't necessarily meditate on a hip hop track or something, right? It's like more of a flowing kind of music. Like, well, you can just search on meditation music. You know what I mean. And then you can really find different vibes that you enjoy. Like I sometimes put on tribal drums or war drums because I like the deep sound of them and the rhythm. But sometimes also just forest sounds, or it can really help to just put on a musical track like that, and then you get into kind of a story for yourself, or kind of a trance for yourself, and it makes it a bit easier and more enjoyable, especially in the beginning. And then at some point you just turn it off and you start meditating without any sounds, and that's where you really start to make your own trance of some sorts. And it's very interesting, the process. And yeah, I really find it very important to talk about this and to also experience it myself. And the things that I've gotten out of meditation is probably the most important thing, the most important things of my entire life. I think my life completely changed for the better when I started meditating, even though I didn't really understand what I was doing. You just become so much more clear on the life, on the life's path, and the things that you need to do, and your role in life, and all those things. It's just very important to understand yourself over anything else. It's more important to understand your story than any other story in this entire world. So yeah, meditation. Go start reading your own book. If you like reading, well, just close your eyes and start reading. It's really true that once you close your eyes, you can start to see everything. It's a beautiful process. It's maybe not the most exciting at the beginning. And even now, a lot of times my mind says, no, we can do something else. We can watch a video or something. But then you have, again, external thoughts corrupting your own thoughts. And it's very important to get more of your own thoughts in during your time, because we get that less and less. Everyone is listening to podcasts, everyone's listening to videos, and everyone's listening and getting all kinds of thoughts and spells passed on them because of lyrics of music and all that stuff. And it's just really important to also just shut the world up and just listen to yourself and read your own things, because ultimately the only person that knows what you need to do is probably you. Probably. So that's my invitation to maybe exit YouTube right now and sit down for a little bit. Doesn't even have to be that long. Just sit down, close your eyes, and let go of the outer world. Go within.